what's about to happen to you, you'd leave now.
Some consider these traits to be toxic, such as undesirable in the men of today. We consider these traits such as these not only to be desirable, but to be appreciated and celebrated. Welcome to the Toxic Male Appreciation Show, hosted by and La Reina Creole. Welcome to the safe space for the toxic male.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm the Reina Creole, and I'm here with my co-host of Positive Fandom, and this is the Toxic Male Appreciation Show, where we show appreciation for those traits that progressive Hollywood deems as toxic, but they're really not. They're those traditional masculine values that many more of us than not appreciate, which is what we do on this show.
Yes, absolutely.
So we are back, of course, in full swing for the new year, and I am very excited about this topic that we're talking about on the show. Of course, we are going to be talking about two leading actors, two Black actors, two deliciously Black actors, which I've probably been watching for years, and two Black actors who happen to have been in some sci-fi roles, and I'm pretty sure those of you out there will remember. And that, of course, would be Terrence Howard and Morris Chestnut, who are appearing in this show, which when you see the title and you know the film that it's based on, you will wholeheartedly flip out. And that, of course, is definitely The Best Man, the final chapters, which is streaming on Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta tell you, The Best Man, the movie, is one of my favorite romantic comedies, up there along with Brown Sugar and Love Jones and Wedding Crashers. Actually, if I had if I had to put them, on one hand. So, have you had a chance to check out the show?
Lorena, I have, and I'm so glad that you told me about the show because I hadn't seen advertisements for it. And I did get a chance to watch most of this particular series. I think is it 8 episodes or something like that, 7 or 8 episodes?
Yes, it is 8 episodes.
Lorena, in a season, kind of full of empty shows with no meaning, that were soulless, that didn't have any feeling in it, this particular program fills all of that up. Every time you want to find something or be entertained by something that has any value whatsoever, you want a decent story, you want to see characters progress in a natural, organic way, this is the show. Lorena, this is the show where we're seeing characters that we've been watching for over 20 years, Lorena.
Yes.
And honestly have relationships that make sense. They seem like professional adults that we're seeing. These are really fantastically written experiences. I'm so happy to see a series like this. It's like having the movie, but 20 times better because we get even more of these stories. We get to see how their families are growing and progressing, how they're developing as adults. There's, I have to say, they went ahead and it covers everything from finding true love to the ups and downs of success, This doesn't leave anything to chance because it covers everything that you want. There's a payoff in every bit of the story. Um, and they just transform during, they make sure that this even includes a lot of time that many of us have transformed over this 2 to 3 year period that's been so traumatic, and different changes that we didn't ask for, we didn't necessarily want, but we have to deal with. And we find that to be the case with these characters in the show, done in a respectful manner. It's not outrageous, it's not ridiculous, it makes sense, it's balanced.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, this is so refreshing to see a show like this. We haven't had anything like this in a while that feels this good. There's a lot of feel good moments, but then there's also a lot of realistic moments of realization and kind of discovery of some of the characters who want to do different things with their lives. And they're very lucky. I think this is something that feels like a renaissance for the show in a sense, because so often in the story, many of the characters are kind of like getting these second chances and doing things that they wanted to do, but they had to kind of get to the first point in their lives and then past that point and then growing so they can go and do the other things that they want to do. I just love how it's presented here. They still are a tight unit. No matter what happens, they seem to have each other's backs. I really like that. I think that this is such a great example showing Black men and women together, relying on one another, building families, going through tough times, understanding, different circumstances that we're all dealing with. And I have to say, how could you not rejoice when, Shelby finally finds true love with Quentin?
Oh, yes.
We've been waiting forever for this. And,
Yes, we have.
even I had my doubts, Lorena. We've been waiting for this woman to finally have her man. And who does not love, Quentin? And, he's just as funny and as entertaining and, attention getting as she is. The two were made for each other. And when they get together, it's almost like it felt so good, Lorena, to finally see them together as a couple. And I'm like, gosh, so much of their lives have gone by and they haven't, been able to go through this. It's very funny, Lorena, because he says, well, when she got married twice, I didn't say anything, and I'm like, you think that she's going to be okay with you marrying somebody? Of course she's going to show up. This was just so wonderful to see her go and get her man, because she knew he was at the altar. You see, he wasn't at the altar before, but she saw him at the altar and she's like, if he's going to marry anybody, it's going to be me. I thought it was a very entertaining and fun thing about it was that, the realization of that they loved each other. And of course we all knew this, but, I thought that the way that they treat one another with kindness and respect and support, this is exactly what we all kind of want in our lives. This is the lives we all want. And to see them to be able to kind of enjoy everything from all the hard work that everyone has done, not just in the characters and the performances, but the production of this, it really has come out so beautifully, Lorena. I can't say enough about how good this is. I don't want this to be the final chapters, Lorena. How about you? How did you find this so far?
Oh my God. There is so much to talk about with respect to this show. And yeah, we can start off hot with Shelby and with Quentin. And I am going to see actually if I can find let me see if I can. Where's the darn pictures at? I'm looking for the pictures. I'm looking for the pictures because this is what I want to this is what I want to find. Okay, so here we go. We have Shelby and Quentin now. Shelby is bat blank crazy. She is that chick who will cut some tires. We all know. We all have that friend who was like that. And there's a little part of us that's kind of like that, but it's locked down, pretty tight. These two fed off of each other. These two, we know they were meant to be together. They can't stand being together. They can't stand being without, each other. So this show was very realistic because in the beginning, oh, and I forgot to say, y'all, yeah, we're probably going to be giving you spoilers for about the first like four episodes four episodes of this show. We'll probably go through character wise, but so much time has passed, and you find out Quentin's getting married. Like, excuse me, Quentin. And they showed kind of like the flashback for the movie, like at the end when they wake up in bed together. We're not surprised, but they act as if if they are. When Shelby finds out that Quentin is getting married, and she's just like, "Oh no, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine." And then she lost her crap. We're like, that is the Shelby that I know, from her showing up at the quote unquote sandals retreat that was there, to her, just being there and just driving Quentin nuts, and you just see it ratchet up, like, oh yeah, I remember this from I remember this from the movie, to even down to the strip tease that she did for him, which was,
Yeah, this is
man,
in her 50s, guys.
yes,
Just rocking it, and no holds barred. She doesn't, she's not holding back anything. No, she's not asking for forgiveness. There's no regrets here. She's just letting it all go. And Quentin can't get enough. He can't get enough of this. Like, he knew, I think, at that moment when she showed up. I actually didn't know what was in store, but he knew as soon as he saw her, that was it. We all knew what was going to happen, that other person was not going to, that wasn't going
no,
to go.
no, we all knew that it was game over, and there was nothing that he could do about it. So when they wound up getting married, and then you see like the progression of time, although I'll back up a little bit. There was a piece of dialogue between the two of them. And again, it's one of the gems of this show. And first out, shout out to Anzo from Biggerford Entertainment for reminding me that this show had dropped, because I saw it advertised on Fire TV, and I put it on my playlist, but I forgot about it. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to him for turning me on to remember to watch this. There's so much wonderful relationship dialogue between men and women, between Black men and women, when she is just distraught that he's going to marry the other crazy chick, I'll tell it, the hippie chick, peyote chick. Oh, that was a weird ass scene. And she's just like, I just thought that you were gonna, she was just very upset about it. And he's just like, why can't you be happy for me? And she's like, well, all you wanted from me was sex. And he said, well, that's the only thing that you offered. And it was like a light bulb freaking moment that went off. But that whole discussion, and then what flew downstream from that, especially the scene at the airport. The scene at the airport, at the airport, that was so realistic. And you knew what was going to eventually happen. And I love how they portrayed that. It was realistic, but he was still a man about it. There wasn't anything degrading about it,
Oh no.
unless
Oh,
he decided to do it, which was true. It's like on his terms, but you understood why. I just thought they handled this relationship beautifully, and it lined up with the movie. What are your thoughts?
yeah, I thought it was beautifully done. I think that to continue the story, Lorena, that we've all been following, and their story hadn't been finished. We knew there was going to be more to this story, and we needed to have some kind of continuance of the story. I'm just so glad that they got the money for this, that they were able to continue it, and we get to see them, happy together. They were happy when they were together before anyway, and life
Hmm.
got in the way, different things get in the way, so often in relationships. And I'm not surprised that she was a real housewife. Like, that's not a surprise.
No, it fit perfectly, didn't it?
Absolutely. And, I think that that was very interesting when he talked about how he saw her on the television, and he could see her on billboards and everywhere. And I almost thought maybe she's doing this, to get his attention. So he would have no choice but to see her on the air wearing low cut, tops and, whatever she was wearing, like, so he would have to see that. So she would haunt him in his dreams forever and ever and ever. It was somewhat romantic in kind of an incredibly farce kind of way. But the two of them really do belong together. This was just so incredible. When you think, because originally I think she was, dating one of the other gentlemen, the one who's married to, is it Regina King? Or Hall, the one who, the fellow who's married to Regina Hall in the story. I hope I'm saying the right person. I think in the first film, she was dating him.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, that didn't work out for whatever
No,
reason.
it didn't. Sheldon was done. I'm done.
Yeah, so that one didn't work out, but then of course she kind of discovered Quentin, and that was obviously like an explosion when the two of them got together. So it was very interesting to see how they've grown so much, and of course we find out a little bit more about them together, and that she actually has some other interesting news about him, and the fact that they're kind of a family already in a sense. I thought that was done and treated very delicately and appropriately. So it's not, it's not a shock. It's not a shock that that would be the case,
Right.
because they were so close. And I think that it kind of tells the story without having to show you all the details. You understand, we all understand these things happen in life. It's natural. And, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that that was, dealt with in a respectful manner as well. So I do like what we saw there. And Lorraine, I really like how they handled the 2 to 3 years of, that we, I guess many years from now, we won't even talk about it, like the 2 years that shall not be named.
Yes.
So, oh, you mean the pandemic? Yes.
Wu-Tang flu. Yeah.
Like we won't even talk about those years. But I love how they presented it, because we didn't necessarily need to see, reports that were overly dramatized, but they showed us snapshots of where people were going in their lives, and the profound effect it had over people's lives, their jobs, their finances, what they did afterwards. It really did change a lot of things for so many people. And they were able to do that without harboring on some things that maybe we didn't need to see again, maybe things that we were not necessary to put in the story, because they might not have been things that were important to the story in the growth, growth meaning. So we understood what it meant. We lived through it, but we didn't need to see all those other details. And I can understand how everyone was affected by it, because we lived it. So we knew the story. And to include that felt pretty good for me, because I wonder how people would tell that, because they were saying that why aren't there more stories about during that time? And it's like, oh, maybe because we want to forget that time, because we don't want to talk about that time anymore. I have a feeling that's the reason. But they were able to treat it in a way where it didn't, we didn't have to relive all of the horror of it, because it kind of was not an enjoyable situation. And so I think they did it so well. They didn't harbor on it too long. They gave us maybe 5 minutes to get us through that.
Yeah. And the way that they showed it, I thought was really ingenious. They kind of flipped through the calendar and they went to certain dates to kind of show you what was going on there. I think it was it the poker match? I think they were playing cards or something like that. Yes. And Quentin just happens to, drop when he's talking to Taye Diggs' character. He was just like, your work is built on, because Taye Diggs' character Harper is the writer who basically wants to be the next Richard Wright, let's get into Hollywood money. And Quentin's trying to tell him, you are able to succeed because of writers like Richard Wright. So you can tell our stories. And he was just like, it's much easier to tear down things when you haven't built them. And that's when he talks about how his family almost lost everything during the pandemic because of something that he did. And the way that was casually slipped in, not casually, it was purposely slipped in, but it flowed with the whole conversation to remind us and what was going on. And they're just like, yeah, man, I'm sorry, I didn't know about that. He's like, yeah, just, everybody had stuff going on. And I thought that was a very realistic way to portray it, because they weren't banging us over the head about the pandemic, but it was a very fluid conversation, and a conversation that existed for a reason. It didn't exist just to fearmonger about the pandemic. It existed because he was trying to let his friend know that you have to be careful when you're building something on the backs of those who came before you, and they made the sacrifices and you did not. So you kind of have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, and a lot of people had, and of course, outside of this story, I've heard some reports, let's say in the news, that during that time was some of the largest transferences of wealth ever in the history of the United States, because of how the economy was at the time, with people either changing their businesses or selling their businesses, or whatever it was.
Hmm.
Economically, it was a drastic change, in the way things were run. And I can see that. I can understand that. We all witnessed that. It certainly was something to think about. And they didn't let these characters kind of just go on, in a fantasy world. They had to experience all of the things we experienced as well. And so, we can relate to this now because they've been through this. They understand what we've gone through. That really
Hmm.
did kind of connect. I felt like it connected us more to the story than a lot of other stories have done.
I agree. I totally agree. Another thing, and let me, who I got to bring this up because dang it, I love looking at Terrence. We gonna get back to Terrence Howard and a little bit of other things that he's been in.
Mhm.
But I love the fact, especially with all the black men in this show, and I love how the characters are treated with respect. Yes, there's some real world things going on that they had to bring out in the show, which made sense, but it wasn't like they were beating you over the head with it. It was very matter of fact. I do appreciate that take. It's very refreshing to the point where anyone can relate to the struggles that are going on. Quentin was straight up, the straight up playboy, like nobody can, grab me. And then once turns out he's getting married, his friends are like, isn't there something off about it? Just like off about him. He's like, no, I'm just in love. And you believe it by the way that he's acting. We're just like, okay, this person's a little weird, but okay, maybe this is who he belongs with. So I like the fact that they portrayed it in a way that was very realistic, and it wasn't portrayed like a beta male situation. You know what I mean? It's because we don't want to see that. Women want to see powerful men who are powerful enough to even admit what their true feelings are.
Absolutely. And, it's interesting because we did get to see other sides of Quentin that we didn't get to see before. And so that was also kind of eye opening. We got to see more of his family. And this was sort of a situation I think he was, being cornered into. And if Shelby hadn't come by, he might have made a big mistake by doing this. There's
Hmm.
it was an investment situation, from what I could gather. And, that investment was hinging on this marriage. And, that's always something that is, unless you're really into that or that's what you want to do, it can kind of be very bad for a lot of people. Unless you completely support that and you're fine with it, that's your business. But I don't get that from Quentin. I don't think he's that kind of a guy.
No, no, I don't think so either. That's why I loved it when Shelby showed up and he just could not keep his cool. I was like,
What?
Quentin is back.
All he needed was some singles and whatever, and that just would have been the that would have been the thing. Now we're back. Now it's back to the way it's supposed to be. But it is very interesting. I did like that actress who played, I guess his fiance. I think her last name is Ari
That was
Parker.
Nicole Ari Parker, who is married to Boris Kojo. She's a really good actress.
Mhm. And she's also in her 50s. And of course, if you remember Lorena, her from Boogie Nights, she was
Yes.
in that film, and she was fantastic in that. So she's been acting also for as long as the rest of the cast has. She's a
Hmm.
well-known actress. So it is wonderful to see her have an appearance in the story. I think she did great. I think she was a nice holistic, aver, whatever that stuff is that you swallow and then you vomit. Um, drinking whatever that stuff is, holistic medicine lady.
Yeah, some kind of peyote thing that was
Yeah.
going on. Oh my gosh.
They spared us the vomiting scenes because we know that that's what happens afterwards. But
Mhm.
it was great that we got to see her kind of, she kind of got a little kind of spacey, and I said, okay, that's fine. They can do that. She can be her. And she thought she was coming in and the deal was sealed, but she was very chill about it too. Compared to Shelby. And I think she thought that there was nothing that Shelby could do to interrupt the space. But it is very interesting. Of course, Lance's situation also was something that was almost heartbreaking in a way because he's so attractive, such a nice man. He's a gem. This man is really, really nice. And for him to have to go through all this after the death of his wife, it
That
is
was
really heartbreaking. And I really felt for him, in especially in the first maybe 4 episodes where he really was hurting a lot, and is probably still hurting.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I love about the show. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows when it's just like we're getting the band back together, so to speak. And then you find out that that his wife died, that Mia died. And it's just like, Mia, no, are you serious? Y'all did that? Y'all went and killed her off, so to speak. But in a way, I thought that that was a disruption that I thought was a really good thing about shaking. There were a lot of things that shook up the relationships between the friends, but having one of the friends a loss like that, a loss from the circle, I thought was a really great plot device because you got to see how, granted they wrote this, how this particular man handles losing the love of his life. And in the movie just how in love with Mia he was. And to find out not only he lost her, but his children lost their mother. So he is just out there and lost and coping in a way where his friends are like, "Do I have to hold an intervention?" Just to show you the depths of how much of a problem he had an issue with coping. Remember, he was real straight laced in the brain, in the Best Man, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they're in the Caribbean. He goes to this pool, strips down, butt ass naked, and jumps in the pool. Who wants to go? I'm just like, sorry, oh, I shouldn't be looking at this.
It got my attention, and
Smoke.
everybody like, oh my God, he really, and of course, he is a retired professional football player. So, he's in top form.
Excellent shape.
There is
Yes.
no body fat on this man. Like, he's pure muscle, just in the best, maybe the best shape of his life. He hasn't been playing for a little while. So, he's treating those injuries or whatever he has to, but he's in top peak form. And, that's, amazing. It's amazing what he is just kind of, toting himself around. Everybody knows he's not with anybody. So every woman in there is eyeballing him,
Mhm.
wondering if they can get that number one spot, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
And that beautiful hostess at the resort, who clearly, she's incredibly classy and, absolutely elegant, certainly treats him very nicely, and, kind of like says, well, you made quite a splash at the pool, paraphrasing, but
Yeah, literally. Did not see that coming.
it's like, maybe you want to keep your trunks on and next, or, and he's like, oh, I didn't realize, and sort of that nice banter, because they wouldn't have harsh words for one another. That's not her style. And that's really not his style. He's not that way. He
Right.
is kind of, classy in his own way. That's not him. But he kind of, felt he needed to kind of release himself. Well, let's just say have a release in a form of it, kind of expose
Yeah.
himself, if you will, and kind of wondering, like, what am I doing? This might be his version of jumping off the boat. One of the other characters who jumped off the side of the boat, that was his version of it, because he knew
Mhm.
all eyes were on him. Um,
Oh,
and
yes.
and I think that he doesn't mind the eyes on. I think he doesn't mind that, but he doesn't know what to do with himself yet. So I think that that was very interesting, that even with all these eyes on him, you have this one picture, Lorraine, right here, where he
Mhm.
is very pensive. He just doesn't know what to do, and how to go forward. And I haven't seen a conclusion yet, Lorraine, nor have you. I wonder if we're going to see that, or at least him go a little bit more forward in his life. He goes back to professional football, and I think he becomes a coach, right, Lorena? He's asked to do coaching for a little while. But certainly going back to this lifestyle is not easy, even though it is distracting to him. Going back to it, does change things for him. And he has this relationship with his son, which is fantastic. He has an incredibly talented son, an
Mhm.
attractive young man who's good at football, just like he is. And he learns. You saw the New Year's Eve episode, Lorena.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. So he learns something about him, and he has to deal with that. But he, once again, handles it with class. His son tells him something,
Mhm.
and he's just, listening. He's listening. He's not, I think it's very interesting that I don't, this must have been very hard for his son to even talk to him about this, and kind of express himself in this way. And, kind of sending out that message. I think I might have wanted to tell my parents first, but he needed to do something or else he was going to go crazy. But I think it's interesting because I think he gave his son good advice. He says, look, you are talented. Do you realize how many people would kill for the talent you have? I can't let you just throw that away. And I think he makes a good point. I think that, football careers are not super long, Lorraine. They're not, right?
No, they are not. They are not long at all. I think the average. I could be wrong with this, but I think the average career in the NFL, if you're really good, I think is like 10 years. It's not out of the ordinary to see football players retire in their mid 30s. Early 40s is pushing it with that, just because of how much of a physical toll it takes on your body.
Yeah, and so I think it would be very interesting. To be honest with you, I don't know how old his son is, Lorraine.
Hmm.
Maybe he's in high school, but I wouldn't mind seeing him play some college ball for a few years, and then he could still do whatever he wants to do with his life. Why not go ahead, try it out if he doesn't like it for a year or two, and then he could just, do whatever he wants. But why not go ahead and see what he can accomplish? At least that's how I look at it. Of course, it's his life. He's entitled to do whatever he likes. But I think his
Right.
father is giving him some good advice.
Hmm.
What if he does do this and he gets a great contract and he does it for 5 years, then he decides to step away? You know,
Exactly.
I think that he has to let him know his options.
Hmm.
And so I think that's important too. And I think that's what any parent would say to their kid. He's not, in other words, he was not trying to pressure his son. I didn't get that. I didn't get that intention from him. I got that he loves his son. He's a very talented young man, and he has to let him know, look, you have talent, and you might want to consider taking it to the next level. And it's important for the son to hear this. It's important
Hmm.
for him to know that he has options in his life, in addition to doing whatever else he wants to do. If his dream is not that. So that is interesting to see that. So he's dealing with a lot. I think, he, he played this role so well, Lorena. Can we talk about this man? It's, of course, it's a fictitious character, but boy, I'm in love with this football player.
I absolutely love him. I love Quentin for his crazy assness, but it's just like, no, he's not my type. I mean, he'd be in jail. Uh, he'd be in jail. But yeah, he's just like he's such a good actor. When I see Morris Chestnut, I remember first seeing him in Boys in the Hood, and then seeing his acting career evolve. And then you see him in The Best Man, and now you see him in this incarnation of The Best Man, the final chapters. And one of the things that I love about his portrayal in this series is his portrayal of a loving father. A lot of the other characters are, Tay Diggs' character is, Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the other guy. I'm like blanking out. The one who's the bona fide the best man. There are so many positive examples of black fathers in this show, and just for that reason alone, I love it. They're very realistic. They love their children. They're worried about their children. Tay Diggs's character says, you know what, my job is to make sure you and his, and his on-screen daughter, it's like to make sure that you are safe, protected, and provided for. And he was very, very dead serious about that. And his wife, played by Sanaa Lathan, who's still
Yes.
gorgeous. Oh my
Yes,
gosh,
I love her.
you could tell by looking at her. She's just like, that is what I need, and I love the fact that you want to do that. But yes, Morris Chestnut. Oh my God, I love his character. I love his character in this. I love what they've done with it. I mean, they've given him a very, very, very heartbreaking story. Um, but I love that he is not being shamed by his friends for the feelings that he has. If anything, they understand. His boys understand, even though they're just like, man, he's starting to go off the rails a little bit. It's keep an eye on him, but they don't shame him for for his feelings. They know he misses his wife. They know he misses his wife, and he just does not have that stabilizing force, which is kind of why he's in man whore territory right now. But we get it. We get it. It's not because he's a womanizer. It's because he doesn't, like you were saying, I mean, you're absolutely right. He doesn't know what to do with those feelings, and that is his way of dealing with his feelings. We'll get to more of Morris Chestnut and actually Terrence Howard. We're going to get into their filmographies in a little bit. But first of all, want to say thank you to those of you who have been watching. I see you, Darth Megatron 69 says hello there. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Dad Man Walking is in the house. Says, hello, ladies. Just dropping by to say hi and listen to those golden pipes of yours while working. Oh, well, thank you so much, Dad Man Walking 55. I sure do appreciate the support. Love it, love it, love it. Prismatics is here who says, hello, Lorena, and her. Hello, Prismatics. I know it's a little late where you are. We are talking about actually three things. One, a new show on streaming, which honestly, if you have not seen it yet, you definitely should. It is The Best Man, the final chapters. If you've seen the movie The Best Man, even if you have not seen the movie The Best Man, there's enough flashbacks to catch you up with what's going on, so you're not lost about the characters. The only disadvantage is a lot of the interactions, if you've seen it, you can see some certain things coming because you know the characters. But this show, literally, it's the first Peacock original to land on Nielsen's streaming series top 10. That is a big, huge deal. I mean, this show, it's wonderful, it's entertaining, it's a great and realistic relationship show, whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're divorced, whether you're widowed, whether you've seen this movie and you've grown up literally like we have with these characters, to see them at the same place in their lives pretty much where we are. It's very refreshing. It's refreshing to check out. It's not preachy
No.
um, at all. It's enjoyable entertainment, and I just cannot recommend this enough. So you do have to pay the $4.99 a month to watch it on
Yes.
Peacock, but frankly, I'm going to tell you, this show is worth it. This show is absolutely 100% percent worth it. So let's see. Ask a couple of questions. I know it's unrelated, but you two got me hooked on Reacher. Come on, season 2. I can't wait for season 2.
Yes, yes. yes, we're so glad to hear that.
Awesome. It's an amazing, amazing show. And so glad you're hooked. And we can't wait for season 2. Come on.
Mhm.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Darth Megatron 69 says, finished inking Velma to go with Daphne while I'm working on more robots while listening
Oh, cool.
in. I saw the one you did of I think it was the one of Daphne. It was beautiful.
No.
It's beautiful. Yeah, yeah, I'm probably gonna watch the first episode of that, unfortunately. Just to sometimes you gotta slow down and check out the train wreck. Let's put have you checked that out yet?
I have not. I tell you what, once I finish watching everything else I want to watch, if
Yeah,
I have time, I'll check it out. But the reason why I kind of stayed away is only because some of the stills, it looks kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Like Scooby Doo used to be kind of, a fun Halloween comedy or kind of like detective comedy thing.
yeah.
But some of the way that the characters are depicted, it looks kind of like maybe dark and gloomy.
Yeah. It's not that it's not that like, hey, it's a happy ending at the end. We wrap up, find out what happened, and we have a couple of laughs, on the way. It yeah, it just seems very dark, gloomy, foreboding, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll check one out
It
for
it feels like
laughs and smiles.
they tried to adapt stuff from Good Times, where in Good Times they would have, it's of course it is Good Times, but it's accompanied by Bad Times and Good Times. So
Hmm.
there's the episode where, they're having, the woman didn't have enough food to eat, and so she, you know, is eating whatever she can afford at the store. That's what this thing kind of like, the tone of it. And I said, it felt a little bit more adult and maybe perhaps not made for children.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It is not made for children, which is unfortunate. But I mean, it's like you want to do that, okay, fine. But it's just everything I've heard is it's just not it's not been good. So yeah, I'll have to check out the first episode. Like you, when I'm finished watching all the stuff that all the good stuff I want to watch, like this show. So
Oh,
it is on Peacock. Um Premium. I think the premium subscription is at $4.99 a month. I've actually liked Peacock when I had it first to watch Halloween Kills. No, Halloween Ends, unfortunately. Ugh, God, that was bad. But this show is wonderful. It's wonderful. It's heartwarming, heartbreaking. You'll split your sides laughing at at some of the stuff that happens, and of course, Terrence Howard and Morris Chestnut are absolutely killing it. So we'll actually start with Morris Chestnut now. Oh my God, he's so
yes.
hot. He's so freaking hot. He's so hot. Like I said, I've been in love with this dude since Boys in the Hood. That is like where he got his start.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, he was in the civil rights drama, the Ernest Green Story. I think I saw that one.
Oh, wow.
I think I
Okay.
saw that one. He was in Under Siege too. I remember that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
remember that. I was like, ooh, that was gorgeous. He was in that. He was in G.I. Jane. He
Hmm.
was in Best Man. Two can play that game. I remember that.
Hmm.
He was in Anacondas. I missed that one. So I saw the first Anaconda movie with Ice Cube, but
Hmm.
that was like the last one that I saw. But yeah, he is just amazing actor. So let's actually go through his filmography before we hit on the one that when I saw it, I was like, what? Let's see. He was in Kick Ass, of
Hmm.
course, in Under Siege,
Two.
Dark Territory. He was in that one. I didn't see Our Kind of People.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that one. Being Mary Jane, I know he was in that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had a chance to watch that series. I saw a couple of episodes.
Mm-hmm. I watched a few episodes as well.
It was a
Oh my
very
goodness.
interesting show. He was in Nurse Jackie. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, he was in The Best Man Holiday as well. Another one. Watch the best. It's like if you really want to ramp up to watch the next final chapters, watch The Best Man, then watch The
Yes.
Best Man Holiday,
Mhm.
and then watch the show. I did watch Think Like a Man.
Yes.
Did you see that movie?
Yes, I have.
Oh, it was great. It
Mhm.
was great. Oh my gosh, I enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. I did not know he was in American Horror
I
Story.
didn't either.
Oh my gosh, let's see, what part was he in American Horror Story?
I think it said he played Luke. Was it in Hotel, American Horror Story Hotel?
Um, doesn't say specifically. It just says American Horror Story.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Doesn't say exactly which one he was in, but I did not know he was in American Horror Story. So
Mhm.
whichever one that Luke was in, oh well, let's see if this comes up. So it just says what was season 1? Whatever season 1 was.
Season 1 was Horror House, I think, or
Okay.
I think it was Horror House. I could be wrong. Um,
Okay.
and
Okay. Oh god, he looks so good. He looks so good.
Mhm.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch. I heard the first 2 seasons of American Horror Story were good. Prismatic says Murder House. Is
Oh,
that what it
Murder
was?
House. Thank you, Prismatic.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't
Murder
remember if it
House.
was Horror House or something house.
Murder House. Okay. Okay. See, I will check. I will check that out. I will check that out now. I did not know he was an American Horror Story.
Mhm.
He just, I'm telling, he's one of those actors who has consistently gotten a just a ton of acting work. It seemed like every time you turned around, that's you would see him. But when I saw him in this,
Yes.
in V, I got to tell you, if you have not seen, I remember the original. I remember
Yes.
the original V. That was off the chain. That cannot be topped. The reboot that they showed, I fell in love with that, and even more so when Morris Chestnut played as one of the aliens in this movie. Oh my god, it was just wild to see, to see him to see him as an alien.
It's fantastic. I love it. I love all of this, and he was wonderful in this.
He was absolutely flipping amazing in this movie, especially when he wanted to kill Diana.
Yes.
Especially when he wanted to kill Diana. I'm trying to see if I can find some pictures so you can see where he was. I'm kind of disappointed. Y'all don't have any Morris Chestnut pictures, but what is it? Is it Marina Baccarin? Marina Baccarin, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah,
Reina Baccarin. Yeah.
she did an awesome job
Mhm.
as Diana. I
Yes.
wasn't sure she could pull that off, but I saw it. She was amazing. Get great. You get the back of his head. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You get the back of his head. But to catch it up, because the story is a little different, because Morris Chestnut's character in V was more of one alien who wanted to integrate with society. He
Mhm.
had like a human partner. Um, I think it was they didn't think that she could get pregnant, and it turns out that she did. And Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
the story from there, because I'm not going to spoil it for those of you who have not seen it, because if somebody spoiled it for me, I'd want to hurt them. So let's just put it that way. It was done extremely, extremely well. I was sad when this show ended.
If you watch the first V, you would know that humans and aliens can reproduce together. We know it's possible. So
Right. Yeah, it was something he said. He said it was like, I think it was because of her diabetes or something like that, that
Mhm.
it wasn't as likely, if I remember correctly, how the story was, and that they didn't think that it could, but
Yeah.
it turned out that that it did. It was like a, I don't know, I just want to call it a miracle or something like that. But that's, what happened, and everything that happened after that. Oh my gosh.
I love it.
This show was so good.
Mhm.
It was amazingly good. And Morris Chestnut's acting in the show was just absolutely fabulous.
Oh my goodness.
We can't say enough about Morris Chestnut in that. But Morris is a very, very, very seasoned actor.
Yes.
Grew up watching him. What is your favorite movie with him?
Um,
It's okay if you say Boys in the Hood.
yeah, probably Boys in the Hood. Yes.
I wonder if the picture's in there from that. If they're smart, they put it in here. No, they didn't. I forgot about Like Mike.
Yes.
Oh, I totally forgot about Like Mike.
Well, it's 20 years ago. I mean, it's not, can you believe it?
Yeah, it's like it's not 100%, 100% new. Let's see. Dead Man Walking is like, can you tell us a little more about Morris Chestnut?
Sure.
Sure, he was born in Cali. Got his start in a John Singleton movie, Boys in the Hood, which,
Mhm.
and I mean, it's an amazingly fabulous film. And he's been acting like literally ever since. I can't imagine any time when he wasn't acting.
Right, right. He always managed to get roles, and, it's not a surprise with somebody like him. He's just an incredible actor.
Absolutely. And not afraid to do those toxic male roles, so to speak. Oh my
Yes.
God, is this him?
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, granted, it was 13 years ago, but still,
Yeah, come on. His body is perfect.
still, still. There's a toxic male appreciation. We're going to appreciate this toxicity right here.
Absolutely. He is
Uh,
absolutely perfect. I mean,
oh
there,
my
like I said, there's no body
God.
fat on that body whatsoever.
None.
He looks like an athlete. He looks like a professional athlete.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very impressive. Very, very impressive.
Absolutely. To quote White Chicks, what a delicious chocolate man. Oh man, I love it. I love it. I'm trying to find a picture from Boys in the Hood. Man, they are gonna make
You
us look for this one.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of if there's one in there too. There's quite a lot of photographs though.
A ton. This is just how busy this man has been, and I really believe it's because of his amazing his acting talent.
You got to look for 80s style hair or clothes.
You know what? Yeah, I was just I was gonna do
All right. Well, this is the only one we could find was there we go.
exactly the 80s style clothes. Oh my gosh, look at how young he is.
There we go. There we
Oh my gosh, him next to Lawrence Fishburne. Look at how young he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
They look like teenagers.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
1991. So that's a 30-year career.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
30 years. Like almost unheard of in a lot of Hollywood. So he's
Mhm.
been amazingly blessed. And Thank you for putting together this new series, The Best Man, the last chapters, because daggone it, if it isn't just wonderful, wonderful to see. So we're going to move on to our next guy, which if you are a fan of the MCU, you already know
Oh
who
yeah.
you already know who this is.
Oh
And of course, that's Terrence Howard.
yeah.
That is Terrence Howard. No, I do not want to play the trailer. Why do y'all do this to
I
me?
don't know why they do that.
I don't. It's like aggravating. But anyway, Terrence Howard. Don't worry. I'll slap the
Oh,
watermark on that later on. Yeah. But yeah, Terrence Howard, the best, absolutely best James Captain James Rhodes there will ever be. I don't care that Don Cheadle is playing it. I have never been happy with Don Cheadle playing the role. To me, Brody will always be Terrence Howard.
Yeah, I love Terrence Howard. I think he's fantastic. He's amazing. He's an amazing actor. I everything he does, I think is fantastic. I don't care if he's difficult to work with. I just want and he looked fantastic in this series as well as he always does. So that was equally as satisfying to see.
Absolutely. It's like hardly any of them had like aged,
Yes,
you
yes.
know, at all. They all look good.
Hmm. Yeah, he really did look good, and it was great seeing him in this. And some of the here, I had forgotten he was in Living Single, NYPD Blue. It says there's Soul Food, obviously.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
I remember him in yeah, in Soul Food.
yeah, yeah. I liked Soul Food.
Soul Food was good too.
Yeah.
Um
Did they make that into a series as well, Reina?
yes, and I watched that series because guess who was in that series? Nicole Ari Parker was in that series.
Yes, yes, that's right. That's right. And I thought, oh, or maybe it was okay. I'm trying to think of who was in the movie. I think Vanessa Williams in it? I can't remember. Maybe not.
Vanessa Williams was in the movie.
Yes.
Yes.
But
She
I
was
I
in the
did also
movie.
watch the TV series as well, and it was very, very good. Yeah,
Uh,
he's fantastic. I
it
love
was
Terrence
great.
Howard.
It was great. I'm trying to find oh gosh, where's the Iron Man
Oh my gosh, that's
actress?
everything?
This is everything. He has been in
Now, we
so much stuff.
Empire was, like, the biggest show at that time. There was no
Yes.
other show that was as big as that with, who is that lady? Um,
That is Taraji P. Henderson,
and
aka Cookie. I freaking love her.
that's right, that's right.
I love her. She takes no crap. These two are probably my favorite dysfunctional couple in television.
And that was not an easy role to play. I just loved her in that, and, they made that show must-watch TV.
Oh yeah. I mean, I felt embarrassed that I didn't get a chance to catch up with Empire when it was on, but everyone would tell me about it. But I was just happy that Terrence Howard had that role because I was really salty that he wasn't in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, it was too bad that that didn't work out for him, but this
Yeah.
this TV series was huge.
It was absolute fire. It was absolute fire. People could not stop talking about it. Everything from just the story to every promo that you would see for Empire was so slick, and Terrence would just have that gravitas and present as the male head of the family. I say
That's
the head
right.
of the family, so to speak. And he took that role very, very seriously.
That's right, and, it was I'm not gonna say that social media hadn't existed before then, but social media also made this show explode.
True.
I mean, in a way that we haven't really seen in a lot of shows before this. So this one to me felt like the one that just went over the top with social media.
Hmm.
It was on all the time. They were constantly talking about it on social media, and just constantly. I've never seen anything like that before because there wasn't anything else as popular as Empire in that way. So
Hmm.
And it did get a lot of attention. It did have LBGT, um, parts in the story,
Mm-hmm.
so that was something else too. And, I think
I
yeah, yeah.
can we just appreciate grown ass men right now?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like the library. He's got like the portrait in the back. He's got the
Yeah.
suit on. He's got the
Yeah.
crystal.
Yeah. There's
Whew.
something about Terrence Howard. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I really like him.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah. I'm still gonna be mad between him, just seeing him and Robert Downey Jr. together on the same screen.
Yeah,
Oh my,
yeah, wow, that's super
was
hot.
like,
It was so hot. It's crazy, crazy hot. I can't even. I know. It was like a dream come true.
God, I loved it, and I was just
It was
like,
it was like over the top sexy, like it
it
was.
was, especially how they played off of each other. Oh my gosh, it was
Yeah.
great.
I mean,
It
maybe
was
that
great.
was even the tone they were going for, but that you couldn't help it because they were so hot together. So
Hmm.
it was really good. I thought it was nice to have something like that in that type of a movie.
I thought so too. I really did think so.
Do you remember he did a video with Mary J. Blige? I can't remember what the song was. They did a video together. I wish you would. Have you seen it?
I don't know if I've ever seen it before.
You got to watch the video. You must see this video.
That's a darn shame if I
You
haven't seen that,
must.
because I've seen most of her videos.
You have to see this video. You have
Oh
to
my
watch this
gosh. Do you
video.
know what song it was for?
It's gee, I gotta find it. It's on. You're gonna love this video so much. I have to look it up. Let me just give me a second.
I'm just looking through all of. There is just so much that he's been in. Let's see what's up. What's upcoming? Shirley, Showdown at Warner Grand, Skeletons in the Closet, and Selfie. Those I am not aware of.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any of these. Haven't heard of The Walk, haven't heard of The System.
No.
He's probably taken it easy since like Empire.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find this. It keeps going back to. I can't get to the video.
Maybe I can. Let me see. Maybe there's pictures of it. I know I'm making y'all dizzy. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Still frame. Oh, I remember. Oh gosh, I remember this movie. No, I don't want to see that. Why am I looking at that? The movie Hustle and Flow.
Yes. Yes. And Taraji P. Henson was in that too.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Paula Jai Parker was in it too.
He played the chick who sang the song with the hook. Look at him there. Look at him there. Oh my God. I can't even.
Was this the It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp?
Yes.
Okay.
Something paying rent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say the entire words, but
no, yeah.
he
But
tells her, "Look, I need you to do the hook, or else this isn't going anywhere." And she's like, "It's hard, such and such, and paying rent." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. Okay."
But I remember this film. I think was it 3? I'm gonna get clowned if I get this wrong. I think this was the one that 3-6 Mafia got a Grammy for, I think.
Oh, is it really?
I think it is.
Wow.
I think it is. I think it is.
Maybe it's this song. It's Without You. Without You is the song. Mary J. Blige's song Without You.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And he's in the video.
Yeah, 3-6 Mafia was in the Hustle and Flow soundtrack.
So did it win the award, Lorena?
I think it won. Yeah, I believe it won a Grammy.
Wow.
For that. Yeah. 3 6. Oh my gosh. This is the kind of useless pop culture trivia that
It's
you
not
get
useless.
that you get from this show.
Not
Yes.
useless. It's totally useful. It's completely useful and important. This is
And
important.
I forgot about Double XL magazine. But anyway, yes, 3 6 Mafia won. Oh, they won an Oscar. Daggone it. Okay.
Wow.
They won an Oscar for It's Hard Out There for a
Yeah, because
Pimp.
it's like it's hot out there for me. It's
Yeah,
like
I didn't get it right. Do it again.
going.
He said, do
Right.
it again. He said, do
Remember
it again.
the last line was like, and you try to pay the rent or something like that. I'm like, yeah, that's
Hmm.
great. Okay, it's cool. It's a hit. It was good. It was
Absolutely.
actually pretty cool to see how
It
they created the song.
it was good. It was good because let's see, this was 2006. Bear with me, folks, because I'm about to do a time jump. So that was 2006 because Iron Man came out. When was Iron Man released? Why am I having a brain fart
It's okay.
as to when 2000? Okay, here's the reason why the two are connected. Because apparently Robert Downey Jr. heard It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp. So he knew about 3 6. I think he knew about 3 6 Mafia because 3 6 Mafia dropped like a lot of Marvel references
Mm,
in their songs. So he actually wanted them on the soundtrack.
yeah.
And apparently their song did not make it into the movie. However, if they haven't cut this scene out of the first Iron Man movie, and I hope that they did not. Oh, bye Prismatics. Thanks so much for being here. The scene in the airplane with the stripper pole, where the flight attendants were doing the stripper pole dance, on the screen behind them is 3 6 Mafia with one of their videos.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah. So
interesting.
yeah. So they're in there. So that's the connection between 3 6 Mafia and Iron Man movie and Terrence Howard.
Interesting.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I
So
liked him
that
in Hustle and Flow. I liked him then. He's really, really young. Like he's just a baby in that.
yeah. Oh my gosh. He looks so young in that. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love this.
Oh my God. He was so good there. Now this looks like it might be, he's dressed, obviously, I'm assuming that's a Navy uniform, and he looks like he's gonna, one of these naval aviators or something like that. One of those movies that they're making now where it'll star some, really good looking naval aviator. I mean, he looks hot. This
Is
is,
he? Oh wait, he's Air Force.
oh, sorry, Air Force.
Oh,
Air
that's
Force,
okay. That's
he
okay. Our other
looks
branches were joking, called Chair Force.
incredible. Well, this picture right here is gold. I think he looks amazing, and we even have John Favreau in the background.
yes, it's
So
heavy.
yeah, this is a great photo. He looks great there. Yeah, I love him.
I loved this scene. I love the original Iron Man movie for so many reasons, but like we were saying earlier, the interplay between Terrence Howard and Robert Downey Jr. was perfect,
Yes.
absolutely perfect between the two of those, and it was a shame Marvel couldn't keep him in that role because I felt the chemistry between the two of them was very, very even. With Don Cheadle, it's how would I put it? With the two of them, with Terrence and with Robert Downey Jr., it seems like the sex appeal is equal,
Yeah, that's more balanced.
and it kind of flows from him. With Don Cheadle, I guess it's there. Maybe it's the writing. I don't know, but it's like I don't get the same.
It's not the same vibe,
It's
no.
not. It's really not. It's like no disrespect, but it's just not. It's not the same. It's not the same vibe. I think with Cheadle's version of James Rhodes, he's very
Timid.
very timid, very well. You shouldn't be doing this, Tony. Kind of like that, kind of like trying to shame him.
Yeah.
Terrence Howard's version is just like, dude, I know how you are. I know this is how you are, and this is just how we deal with each other. You know, that yeah, I miss that. I do not admit that I'm superficial enough to actually say yes. I totally miss that part. Is
And
that
that's
from
that's
Hustle?
so cool. That's their recording studio, right? They got the
Mm-hmm.
X-rays on the wall. This
My God.
thing is hard. This is old school.
Wow. Oh my gosh, it's a drink container. That's a good hack for those of you just getting into YouTube and you want some soundproofing.
That's right. Or whatever kind of container it is. It's like McDonald's or coffee container
See
thingy.
something that carries the coffee. The eggs probably, like you were saying, they would work too. Just
Mhm.
you just need something for soundproofing. Man, that's a really good hack. It's an excellent hack. So yeah, so now you know a lot more about Terrence Howard. Let's see, his
Yeah, let's see his
great grandmother was the New York stage actress Minnie Gentry. I wonder who she
yeah,
is.
who's
So
she?
let's look up who she is.
Huh.
Minnie, oh, let's see.
Yep, that's her.
Is this one picture?
She is with Fred Williamson and Hell.
Oh my gosh, this is like old school
This is
Black
old school.
Hollywood.
Hell up
Wow.
in Harlem.
Harlem. Mm.
Mm.
Can we just appreciate the sideburns on this dude right now? The 1970s sideburns, just like
Yeah. Yeah, I can appreciate it. Oh my gosh, what an era of movies, the 1960s and 70s,
hmm
just so amazing. Seeing characters like this, and there she is. I want what else did it say that she's in Lorena?
let's see. Well, let's find out what else she's in.
Okay.
Let's
Black
see. Bad Lieutenant, Black Caesar. That's where I know her from. But wow, that is a
It is a classic.
classic black exploitation
Mhm.
movie. And for those who are clutching pearls, please don't do this. It's not that's not meant to be in a bad way. It was a certain genre
That's right.
of film, a certain beloved genre of
Yes.
film. I mean, Foxy Brown, which is
Mhm.
one of my favorites with Pam Grier. Oh my gosh. Dolomite,
Yeah,
a lot of these
Blackula,
amazing.
all that good.
Oh my gosh, definitely Blackula.
My favorite, although it's not at the same time era, is I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Sucker.
That is my favorite one.
The pimp with the fish. The
Yes,
pimp with the
you mean
fish in
Huggy
his
Bear.
shoes.
Huggy Bear.
Huggy Bear. hmm
From Starsky and Hutch.
Yes. So many of them. So, oh my gosh, so many of them. I love how he
The music's
looks.
like, "Hey, hey,
I love how he
uh-huh,
looks.
do-do-do, do-do-do."
Do-do-do.
Oh, Superfly, like that kind of soundtrack. Yeah, there we go, yeah.
That was some good music, I tell you. Oh, and I love him in this poster. I will
Oh, he
always
looks good
love
in there.
him
He
in
looks
Versailles.
really good. He looks really
Back when, okay, I'm not gonna drag it out. But yes, so now you know a lot more about Terrence Howard. Basically, comes from what I would call black exploitation
good.
royalty. Grew up
That's
in New York.
I
No,
love
it wasn't New
that.
York. I'm sorry, it wasn't New York. I believe it was
He's from
Chicago.
Chicago, but
It
he
was
went to New York,
Chicago.
I think, to study. And if you look at the list of, I think he has more films there, Lorena.
He was in
Um,
NYPD Blue
I didn't know he
too.
was on there. Did you?
No, I knew Living Single, but I did not know
Yeah, I didn't
NYPD
know. Yeah, I didn't know
NYPD
that.
Blue.
That makes me want to go back to look at NYPD because they were known for having nudity. Remember, like that show, they had so much nudity in it, and
Yeah, Dennis Franz's
yeah,
bare
people just
butt.
like nude everywhere. So maybe he's that. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe he's somewhat more exposed.
Oh, he was in Crash. I know he was in Four Brothers. I remember Four Brothers. I did see Four Brothers.
Yes.
I did see that. He was in Crash.
What else was he
Yeah, I
in?
was trying to bring up his like complete bio, but IMDb is acting really, really weird.
Okay.
Let's see. Madonna, Ghost Town. That was a music video.
Mhm.
You knew about Best Man Holiday. That's right. He was in Red Tails. Oh my
Yes, he
gosh.
was. That's right. He was.
For
He was in that.
folks,
That's right.
yes. For folks who don't know, Red Tails, which was done by George Lucas.
Hmm.
So Cuba Gooding Jr. and Terrence Howard are in this, and it is the story of the Tuskegee Airmen
Yes. And so, of
who.
course, in order to be a pilot, you have to like have a degree and be an officer. So you
Mhm,
can't, just like join and say, I want to be a pilot. It's like it doesn't work like that. So um, I guess at that time, let's say I don't know the pathway. Let's say whether you go to the academy or you go to college and then you join the Navy or whatever it is, the Air Force. Um,
mhm.
in order to be an officer, usually you'd have to go to college or get a degree or something, right, Lorena?
Yes. Mhm.
So the Tuskegee Airmen are famous, world famous for their action throughout, the history of the military as pilots. And this is great that they did this film, Lorena.
Yeah. George Lucas would say repeatedly how difficult it was for him to get this film made, which is a shame when you think about it, because when we talk about positive depictions of Black men in film, especially historical depictions of Black men in film, this is a perfect story. Absolutely perfect story. They never lost a plane they escorted. Not
Yes.
a one.
Yes. And that's so important. They're the ones you want to have as your wingmen. Lorraine, a very interesting article came out about Terrence Howard and why he did not return to Iron Man
Hmm.
um, from MSN News, where he talks about how a lot of it had to do with pay. Um, and how he would, I guess maybe the pay or the contract was not a fair contract.
Mhm.
So that was very interesting. I didn't know anything about that. Maybe he was expected to return, but the terms were not fair, you know? So
Yeah, you gotta hand it to him. You know, it's just like if it's a bad deal, you feel it's a bad deal, you have to walk away from it.
absolutely. Absolutely. And, a lot of people are unaware that a lot of these offers that these artists are getting is not exactly what it should be.
Mhm.
So no one has any feelings. I completely understand an artist saying that I can't, those terms are not really good for me.
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. Because in the end, and pretty sure Terrence knows the Hollywood game. In the end, it's they're not really looking out for best your best interest. I wasn't happy that they couldn't bring him back. I'm kind of more upset that Marvel couldn't make that happen. But he's moved on to other things, and well, given the state of Marvel, it's probably good, probably better than he didn't. But yeah, he went. He's gone on to do amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. So I am just glad that he's still out there. Number one, making movies and television, and of course, is back in Best Man, the final chapters, which I am enjoying, and I cannot wait to watch the remaining 4 episodes of the show. Of this show. I'm hoping it's not a one and done season. I'm hoping there's going to be a season 2, so we'll keep an eye out to find out if they announce a season 2, because there's so much they can do.
Yeah, there really is. And I'm excited to think of them continuing the story. I think there is a lot more to be told, as you said, Lorena.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, folks, we're going to wrap up this episode of Toxic Male Appreciation. I do believe that all you toxic men out there that we love, you will enjoy the final chapters. It is not insulting to men. If anything, it's supportive of men, it's understanding of men, and especially relationships between men and women who happen to be Black, but there's something in here to identify with for everyone. So please let us know if you have seen this show. We would love to know your opinions of it. So please do let us know in the comments. So, any last word on the best man, the final chapters before we wrap up?
It might be, one of the best adult drama series of 2022. And
Mm,
I kind of think it should have been nominated for something, considering, the brevity and the scope of what it covers and the enjoyment of it. I think it deserved to be recognized. I'm not quite sure how it works, but they certainly do deserve something for a show like this. It really is the type of entertainment that we're all looking for.
hmm Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, my dear, what do you have going on that you would like to tell everyone about?
Well, tomorrow morning, I have a stream with Darth Plato on my channel, Positive Fandom. We're going to be covering episode 1 of Horatio Hornblower. So I have that. And then I guess on the weekend, I may be streaming on Friday or Saturday night with Robert on Midnight Musings. Lorena, I think tomorrow you and I are going to be doing an anime show at 7 p.m. on your channel. Continuing that. Do you have a watch party this Saturday, Lorena, or is it your 4,000th subscriber episode?
It is my 4,000th subscriber celebration. And of course, you will be there along with so many others to help me celebrate that particular milestone. If you're watching this replay on YouTube, the stream was last night. So you want to go and check it out. It's just a way to hang out with you guys and say thank you so much for helping me get to 4,000 subs. I'm still just stunned people subscribe and listen to what it is that I have to say. So please definitely do check out that celebration. And of course, you can find me on Sunday, the Welcome to Florida show. We're going to be talking about a wonderful, wonderful beach in the state called Tables Beach on the property of Patrick Space Force Base. So we're going to talk about that beach and how it's such a great, wonderful day trip to go and take from
Is,
Orlando.
is that the one that you went to already, Lorena, that you showed us in the video?
Yes, yes, it did. So I've got some time lapse video of the drive out there. It's going to be a blast. I cannot wait to share that with all of you. It's going to be
And
amazing.
Lorena, you and I are gonna, after your show on Sunday night, I think you will be joining me on Sunday night for.
That right. You want to tell them?
Yes, guys, I'm going to be doing a live The Last of Us watch party with Lorraine. It's going to start at 9:30 p.m. Eastern after her Florida Man show. So do check that out as well. Monday night, Lorraine, you and I are going to be streaming on the Burn Network for our show, Ladies
Yes.
of PGS, at 6 p.m. Eastern. And I also will be doing a stream with Cameron Pasha on Tuesday at 5 p.m. We're going to be reviewing the Rise of Empires Ottomans, part 2, Mehmet versus Vlad. Guys, if you like the first season, wait till you find out this second season, Lorena, it gave me chills after I watched it.
Oh my gosh. I know just watching you guys talk about the show. I'm just like,
I'm
I gotta check it out.
Lorena, after you see the second season, I'm still freaked out from that season. Like it affected me. I haven't had a
Really?
lot of docudramas affect me, but this one, like, I'm still scared from what I watched in a good way.
Wow. Oh, okay. Well, that's another one to put on the pile. Put on the pile for me so I can check that out. So, also before I forget, also next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. The Theme Park Geeks and Divas Theme Park Therapy Show will be going on, of course, with Culture Casino, Chris Gore, and probably have some other special guests as well. So that's a stream where we get together and we just kind of vent and give praise to all things theme parks. So it's just like come out, have a blast, have some fun, and we just love doing that and having a great time. So thank you all so very much for hanging out with us. Please do hit that like button and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.